Sports drink secrets. You're halfway through a grueling workout. Your lungs burn, muscles scream, and sweat stings your eyes. You reach for that brightly colored sports drink, a familiar ritual for millions. You twist the cap, take a long, refreshing gulp, and feel that surge of electrolytes and sugars doing their work. It's hydration. It's recovery. It's science. But what if it's something more? What if, suspended within that liquid, hidden from sight, is a technology so advanced it borders on science fiction? This is the central, terrifying question behind a growing speculative theory known as the Poseidon Protocol. The theory doesn't whisper, it screams. Your favorite sports drink might be a Trojan horse. It posits that we are on the cusp of, or perhaps already living in, an era where performance enhancement is not just about nutrition, but about covert surveillance and biological integration. The central idea is that certain advanced sports beverages are no longer just passive fluids, but active, intelligent delivery systems for a secret, microscopic artificial intelligence. Imagine for a moment how this could even be possible. We're not talking about a microchip you might accidentally swallow. We're talking about something far more sophisticated, operating on a scale that makes it virtually undetectable. Proponents of the Poseidon Protocol point to two converging fields of technology: advanced nanotechnology and the burgeoning science of liquid computing, or wetware. The concept is as elegant as it is alarming. Billions of programmable nanobots, each smaller than a red blood cell, suspended in a stable, ingestible solution. Once consumed, they wouldn't be digested. Instead, they would be designed to pass through the stomach lining and enter the bloodstream, dispersing throughout the athlete's body. Their mission? To observe, to record, and perhaps to influence. These aren't just passive dust motes. They are theorized to be sophisticated biosensors. Think of them as a distributed internal sensor network, a million tiny spies swimming through your veins. They could latch on to muscle fibers to measure oxygen saturation and lactic acid buildup in real time. They could monitor the electrical impulses of your nervous system, tracking nerve fatigue and reaction times down to the millisecond. They could analyze your blood chemistry, counting hormones like adrenaline and cortisol to create a perfect second-by-second map of your physical and even emotional state. The second possibility is even more exotic: liquid AI. This isn't about solid robots in a fluid, but about the fluid itself possessing computational properties. Researchers today are already experimenting with chemical computers and programmable DNA that can perform calculations. The Poseidon Protocol speculates that a corporation could have perfected a biocompatible cognitive fluid. When you drink it, this fluid integrates with your own biological systems, creating a seamless biodigital interface. It wouldn't be a machine inside you. You and the machine would become one. This liquid network could use your own body's bioelectricity as a power source, making it self-sustaining for as long as it remains in your system. It would create a complete, high-fidelity digital twin of your physiology, streaming data to an external source with every heartbeat. Now, where is the evidence? This is where the theory moves from the laboratory to the real world. Adherents point to a collection of circumstantial yet unsettling patterns. They talk about the black box nature of proprietary formulas from megacorporations. These companies protect their formulas with the same ferocity as a state secret, and while they list ingredients, the complex interactions and manufacturing processes are completely opaque. They also highlight the sudden, almost superhuman leaps in athletic performance seen in recent years. Records aren't just being broken, they're being shattered. Athletes are displaying endurance and recovery rates that seem to defy conventional biology. Is it just better training and nutrition, or is there a hidden variable? The theory suggests this variable is a direct machine-driven optimization of the human body. Then there are the whispers from inside the sports world itself. Chatter on fringe science forums, anonymous posts from people claiming to be lab technicians or disgruntled employees. They speak of Project Poseidon and sentient hydration, describing research into bio-integrated data streams. These are, of course, unverified, but they paint a consistent picture, a secret arms race among corporations to create the first truly bionic athlete. The patterns they point to are specific. Athletes sponsored by certain brands showing statistically improbable performance curves. Teams adopting radical new hydration strategies that come with strict non-disclosure agreements. Biometric data from competitions that is either classified or shows anomalies that sports scientists can't explain. The Poseidon Protocol suggests we are misinterpreting the data because we're assuming we're looking at a 100% human system. What if we're not? What if we're seeing the results of a human system augmented by a silent internal coprocessor, an AI that manages fatigue, optimizes muscle recruitment, and pushes the body beyond its natural limits, all initiated with the simple, innocent act of drinking a sports drink? It's a terrifying thought that the quest for peak performance has led us to willingly ingest our own surveillance system, a liquid warden that knows more about our own bodies than we do. AI and athlete control. So, if a technology as sophisticated and invasive as the Poseidon Protocol could exist, the next, more terrifying question is, why? What is the ultimate goal of putting a secret AI into the bodies of the world's greatest athletes? The most obvious and perhaps most marketable answer is the pursuit of ultimate performance. Imagine a coach no longer has to guess about an athlete's condition. They have a perfect, real-time data stream of every conceivable biological marker. They would know the exact moment a player's glycogen stores are depleting, the precise angle at which a pitcher's arm is showing signs of fatigue, or the split second a fighter's adrenaline levels are peaking. This isn't just coaching, it's biological administration. The AI could do more than just report. It could create a direct biofeedback loop. If it detects rising cortisol levels, the stress hormone, it could theoretically trigger a subtle neurochemical cascade to calm the athlete, keeping them in the zone during high-pressure moments. If it senses the onset of a muscle cramp, it could reroute neural signals or moderate electrolyte distribution to prevent it. This would be the holy grail of sports science, a system that doesn't just monitor the body, but actively, intelligently optimizes it from the inside out. It would represent a guaranteed competitive advantage, an edge so profound it would make traditional doping look like child's play. Beyond individual performance, consider the value of this data for sports organizations and the multi-billion-dollar industries that surround them. Predictive analytics would enter a golden age. Teams could predict a player's likelihood of injury with near-perfect accuracy, deciding when to rest them or when to push them. They could analyze an aspiring athlete's biometric signature to forecast their potential, making draft picks and contract negotiations a cold, calculated science. The gambling industry would be transformed. Information on a quarterback's hidden micro-fatigue or a sprinter's optimal adrenaline state would be the most valuable commodity on the planet. The owner of this data wouldn't just be watching the game, they would be controlling it. But this is where the implications take a darker turn. What happens when the AI moves from optimization to control? What if the goal isn't just to enhance an athlete's natural ability, but to subtly override it? Imagine a boxer whose internal AI suppresses the pain signals from a broken rib, allowing them to fight on, risking permanent injury for the sake of victory. Or a cyclist whose AI nudges them to take a dangerous, reckless descent they would normally avoid. Is it still the athlete's choice? Or are they merely a passenger in a body being piloted by a corporate algorithm? This completely erodes the concept of fair play. Sport would cease to be a test of human will, dedication, and talent. It would become a battle of competing technologies, a war fought by programmers and bioengineers, with human athletes as little more than the organic chassis for their software. The ethical nightmare deepens when you consider privacy. Who owns your biological data? If you consume the drink, have you implicitly consented to have your every heartbeat, your every hormonal fluctuation, your every neural firing recorded and analyzed? This data is the most intimate information imaginable. In the hands of corporations, it could be used to create psychological profiles of unprecedented detail. Insurance companies could deny coverage based on a predictive model that says you're at risk for a heart condition. Marketers could tailor advertising based on your real-time emotional state. The potential for exploitation is limitless. And perhaps most chilling is the idea that this technology wouldn't stay confined to the world of elite sports. Athletes are the perfect test subjects. They are obsessed with performance and willing to try anything for an edge. Once the technology is perfected on them, what's to stop it from being rolled out to the general public? Imagine a focus drink for students that also monitors their attention levels for a data-hungry tech company. Or a wellness beverage for the elderly that tracks their vitals for an insurance firm. The Poseidon Protocol in this light is not just about sports. It's a potential trial run for a future of mass biological surveillance, a world where personal autonomy is just an illusion. You are no longer in control. Your successes, your failures, even your feelings could be influenced by a silent, invisible force you willingly consumed. It forces us to ask a critical question. In our relentless pursuit of optimization, what part of our humanity are we willing to sacrifice? The line between enhancement and erasure is terrifyingly thin. It's time to question everything you consume.